Flawless victory.
Yeah. Look inside. Trust the gut. Read the room. Cultivate it. Let's go! I step in the perimeter, scanning the whole parameter, checking the temperature, spotting the fake. I'm calculating the energy, watching the hidden agenda they pushing. I'm seeing the moves that they make. Cultivate judgment, I'm trusting the gut, and I'm cutting the tension right out of the room. I'm reading the subtle expressions, the micro vibrations, the silent approach of the imminent doom. The intuition is heavy, I process the data. I'm looking right under the surface to see. I'm stripping away the illusion, discovering all of the motives and knowing exactly what they wanna be.
Flash judgment.
You gotta trust what you feel inside. Trust it. Open your eyes to the things that they trying to hide. Shit.
Cultivate wisdom.
The gut is the ultimate guide.
Flash judgment.
Before the moment can pass you by.
Look at the truth and sever the root of the lie.
Leave all the second guessing right here in the dust and fly. Yeah. I'm checking the frequency, reading the energy, pulling the plug, and I'm smelling the stench. It isn't just guessing, it's highly trained observation. The lifetime of reps and the time in the trench. I'm closing the gap and I'm setting the trap. I anticipate everything right from the jump before they begin. I cultivate knowledge in every domain, and I link the subconscious directly into the front of the brain. No hesitation, the feeling is instant. The samurai focus is highly consistent. The pierce in the dark, I'm trusting the instinct to carry the weight, and I make the decision before the ignition can spark. Judgment ain't about passing a sentence on somebody else. It's about knowing the truth of the moment inside your own head. Build a database in your mind, so your gut never lies to you. Let's ride!
Flash judgment.
You gotta trust what you feel inside. Trust it. Open your eyes to the things that they trying to hide. Shit.
Cultivate wisdom.
The gut is the ultimate guide.
Flash judgment.
Before the moment can pass you by.
Look at the truth and sever the root of the lie.
Leave all the second guessing right here in the dust and fly.
Trust what you feel inside.
Trust what you feel inside.
Trust what you feel inside. Trust what you feel inside. Yeah. See it all before it happens.
We out.
What's good? What's good? What is good, everyone? I see I'm dropping some frames, unfortunately. It'll pick back up. It'll pick back up. My internet looks like it's running good. I don't know. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's not. Anyways, how is everyone doing today? I am Techotrav. We are Engineered to Win. We have a great show lined up for us tonight. I was so excited last week working on the RAG testing and incorporating jiu-jitsu into it. So I cannot wait to get back to that. We're going to be testing it out. We're going to be adding more data to see how it uses the rules, all that good stuff. It's going to be amazing. We have a nice little icebreaker about Meta, good old Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, the Zuckster himself, trying to make us pay for these for Facebook and stuff. We're going to look at that for our icebreaker. We have some great break time topics as well. Great break time topics as well. We're going to be talking about a school program, school software, learning software. They say it's hurting our kids. We're going to check into that. And And we're going to be talking about how police are using AI as well. AI is everywhere, including the police station. So we're going to check all of that. All right. So with that being said, let's just jump right into our icebreaker really, really quick. Let's go to here. And so let's talk about these paid Meta subscriptions. Let's go over. Let's take a look at that real quick.
Turning now to social media, paid subscriptions are coming to some of your favorite apps. The social media giant Meta has announced it will offer consumer subscription plans across Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. The monthly fees will pay for extra features like profile customization, super reactions, and story insights. I don't know why I thought that was funny, but I guess that's my reaction.
You imagined all the emojis.
Yes, all the emojis that mom would be sending. Meta says it plans to roll out more subscription plans for its AI chat box. To break it all down, we're joined by CBS Saturday Morning co-host Kelly O'Grady. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning.
So, all right, what will these subscriptions cost, and what are you actually getting? I mean, to add extra emojis or...
I'm wondering, would you pay for a subscription to Meta so you can do all these quote unquote little customizations? I don't know about that. I barely use Facebook as it is. I barely use Instagram. I use WhatsApp, but I don't see myself paying extra for, I don't know. Let's see if they're going to share what these customizations can do.
Reactions, do I really need to pay a couple of bucks for that?
Wait for the crazy emoji I send you in your DMs. Okay, all right, let's start with the price. It is $3.99 a month for Instagram Plus and for Facebook Plus. And for WhatsApp Plus, it's going to be $2.99 a month.
You have to pay them separately?
Exactly. This is all going to be separate. There is no bundle yet. What you're going to get is going to depend on the app. But for the social media focused ones, it's things like extending the life of your story.
Wait a second. I did not realize this. So they're all separate? So basically, to use all three of them, if you wanted the quote unquote plus, you're telling me that you would be paying $8 plus $11 a month for the Meta pack? Let's call it the Meta pack. You'd be paying $11 a month for the Meta pack? Are you serious? I don't know.
Which only lasts for about 24 hours right now. Being able to
But that's the point of story.
Hey, sometimes you gotta.
I know, I'm like yelling at her, like, what are you doing to us?
You can also, you'll be able to search for who's watched your story, how many times they've rewatched it. For WhatsApp, it's going to be more messaging features like custom ringtones. I think the takeaway here is Meta is saying we've got heavy users, people that want to grow their followings. Let's find a way to monetize them.
What if you just want to do what you're always doing?
Then it's
you don't
free.
have to pay.
Then you
Then
keep
it's
on
free.
keeping on. And by the way, this is sort of how it's existed. It's advertising. It's advertising
Right.
supported. I think what's really interesting here is Meta is following the trend of many other companies like X, like YouTube, and saying, hey, we're spending tons of money on AI. We need other revenue streams. And social media is becoming sort of tiered. It's pay to play if you're a heavy user.
How do you think most users will respond to this?
This right. Like, this is the interesting part. I think that you have people who are going to be frustrated and say, I have subscription fatigue. I have to pay for everything.
Just hearing you say bundle triggered me earlier.
Exactly.
Yeah, it did. No more bundles. Not another bundle. Kelly, thank you so much.
I don't know. WhatsApp, because they already have WhatsApp for business, but WhatsApp and Facebook? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Are you willing to pay for a Meta pack and get an upgraded subscription to the Meta platform so you can do longer stories or stories that last longer? I don't know. I'm not with it. I don't think so. Not for me. Unless there was some type of business reason behind it, I don't see it happening. Let me know if you're gonna do it. Are you signed up already? Is it worth it? Let me know. Is it worth it? Drop me a comment below. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can know every time we go live and drop new content. All right, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of housekeeping. So first and foremost, thank you to all of the subscribers to the channel. Thank you for helping us grow. Thank you for being with us on this journey as we learn all of these new technologies. Really, really appreciate you. And I want to give a big shout out to all of my tech barbarians out there. We have a Vibe Code and Chill coming up this weekend. We're going to have a great time. I have some things I want to share. I really wish Junior would have gotten out of Lovable Jail, but it's 2 days early, so we'll have to wait for the next Vibe Code and Chill to see what Junior's cooking up. But maybe he can share some of his prompts, what he has in mind, what he's going to be unleashing once he gets out of Lovable Jail. So we have that. We have some presentations on how my QA engineers are learning how to test RAGs. We're probably going to have some business analysis presentations, and I'll see what else we have cooking up, but we're going to have a great session this coming Saturday. So shout out to all of my tech barbarians who work so hard day in and day out. And last but not least, shout out to my tech mercenaries keeping this YouTube channel going across the entire world, helping us add value to every single person across the world. All right. Let's go ahead. So tomorrow, quick announcements. Tomorrow we have the Bug Bite dropping. We're going to be talking about good old CISA, the government's cybersecurity agency, or lack thereof. They're doing some crazy stuff. They had passwords inside of a public GitHub repository. And the craziest part, you will never ever guess what they named the file and the repo. If you were to guess private government secrets, you wouldn't be too far off. You wouldn't be too far off. Bruh. So we're going to take a look at that tomorrow. So join me as we review what the hell is going on with the cybersecurity agency of the government. This is the same cybersecurity head who was uploading sensitive data to ChatGPT, unauthorized. So, and this was happening for months now. So we're going to check that out tomorrow. Like I said, we have Vibe Code and Chill this coming Saturday, and we're going to be going live on Sunday, working on the Speak Precisely app. And that is our plan for the rest of the week.
Are you ready?
All right. I'm going to go and check the chat really quick. Let me see. So I got my guy Junior in the building. Hits me with the what's up? What up, Junior? How is it going? Hopefully everything is going well. And I see your comment about the song, and I kind of agree with you, but there is context. But I kind of agree with what you're saying, but there is context to that. All right. So we'll talk about it later, but there is context to that. And I do see your point, and it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. All right. Junior says, I'm not paying at all for Meta, Facebook, or Meta. Is Meta called Facebook now? Let me see. Hold up. Let me see. Facebook. Is it still called Facebook and just the company? Yeah. So I'm not paying for Facebook. I'm not paying for IG, and I am not paying for WhatsApp at all. It is not happening.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
Life Lessons in the building. What up, Life Lessons? How is it going? Finally caught another live stream. How are y'all doing? I am doing absolutely amazing. And I'll tell you this. You haven't missed many, because I go live Sunday afternoon, Tuesday night, Thursday night. So you are in the building. Love having you here. Shout out to you. Let me see. Life Lesson says, I would absolutely would not pay for Meta. I haven't used Facebook or any of their products in a very long time. I use WhatsApp. I will be honest. I'm an avid user of WhatsApp. Instagram, not so much. Since I stopped using Opus, it doesn't automatically upload the videos to IG, and I'm not doing it manually. So it is what it is. And it says, does it surprise you that CISA would do something so ridiculous? After I reviewed that the CISA director, or acting CISA director, was uploading sensitive data to ChatGPT, I am not surprised by anything that comes out of CISA anymore. But they are under new management. It says password.txt is probably what they named it. It was very close. it might have been worse than passwords.txt, right? So we're gonna check that out tomorrow. Says, what time is a vibe code and chill? I'm gonna sign up for the Patreon before the night is over. Tired of looking inside of windows instead of just walking through the front door. Welcome. It is at 2 p.m. Eastern time. 2 p.m. Eastern time. That is every other Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern time, where we get together, we talk about what we're working on. It is available to stream straight through the Patreon, but it's a much better experience if you join us on the Google Meet call. And we have a grand old time sharing, asking questions, giving feedback. And if you need like whatever it is you need, like if you have interview type questions or feedback on what you're working on, questions for the group, that's the place to do it. That is the place to do it. Says, oh crap, I forgot about WhatsApp. I lied. I use that only when I'm traveling internationally. I will say this. I have noticed that people who do travel internationally, well, not even people who travel internationally, people who have family internationally, they use WhatsApp. Because a lot of people internationally, I would say they're more Android based internationally, unless it's like a really, really first world country, then they might be more of iPhone based. But I would say internationally, most people are using Android and WhatsApp. So people who have a international community, they're going to be more on WhatsApp. And I would say that Android users are more prone to WhatsApp than iPhone users, because we'll have these WhatsApp groups and you'll be messaging, and the people who are more iPhone users, you barely ever get their response. That's my observation. I could be totally wrong about that. I could be totally wrong. Drew says, I should check if my GitHub is private. You should definitely check if your GitHub is private. And I would say this, there was a time where if you did not have a certain type of GitHub account, you couldn't, I think it was WhatsApp, you could not, I think it was GitHub, you could not have private account or private repos, but they changed that recently. Not recently, but maybe like 5 years ago. I think that was the case, but I could be wrong. Let me see. Let me check something real quick. Okay. All right, cool. Let's go. It says you can call internationally for free when calling with WhatsApp. Verizon changed that? Dang. I remember in Haiti too that people would use WhatsApp to text and call, and the phone providers in Haiti, they were trying to like kind of block it, but I don't think anything ever actually came of it. But Verizon doesn't let you call people on WhatsApp internationally. That is messed up. That is messed up. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. Let's go with. We're gonna get into work. We're gonna get into work for tonight. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Let me move that. Boom. So like I said, we're going to be working on our custom jiu-jitsu rag. I'm going to go ahead and put 20 minutes on the clock.
It's time to
And let me open up my PyCharm. Can't believe Verizon would do such a thing. I mean, I never, unless, I shouldn't say this, because what if Verizon decides to give me a sponsorship? Can you hear me now? But I never really liked Verizon. Okay, I'm not gonna say because you never know. I might end up liking Verizon. Who knows, right? You never know what's gonna happen. So, let's go over here. And so here goes our rag. And we had, let me see what we got. So we need to start up the rag. Let me open up a terminal. I don't recall exactly the details around this. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Do I have... I don't. All right, let me go ahead and open this terminal. And then I need to find where, let me see. I know we have a database somewhere in here. There goes the code. There, okay, there it goes. So let me see. Do I have, I don't have keto in this. All right, we're gonna clod it up real quick. Let's go to Claude. Trust it. How could, what's the command to start my Chroma DB? So I need to start up the database, and then I'm gonna run the test and see what we come out with. All right, there we go. Let's copy that. I'm gonna go into here, and I'm gonna navigate to testing, and we're gonna go to activate our, make this bigger, activate our virtual environment. And now we're gonna run this, see if it starts. And we are started, I believe. Cool. All right. Now we're going to let's try to run this test right here, right? And see what we get. Let's go to, so we want to run this, and we stopped. Let me go ahead and pull up the code again from last week. Or not the code, but the Gemini session. It would be this one. All right, let's go here. All right. All right, let's go all the way down. Can I just go all the way down to the bottom? Gee whiz, Gemini. All right, there we go. So this is where we left off last week. Let's go ahead and run this to see what we get. Close that up. All right, let's run this. We got to the rubric, but I don't know if we actually did any of the validation. So let's go ahead and run this. That's not the one that I want. Hold up. Stop that. I want current file. All right, there we go. Current file, test BJJ rag. And what is it going to ask? It's going to say, so the issue that we had last time, all I had was how many points, and it was giving us an answer. The explanation that we got for that, though, was so when I passed in how many points, and we're getting an answer, says the vector database doesn't care if your question is complete. It just plots your questions as a coordinate and grabs whatever document is physically closest to it in the mathematical space. So that's kind of like that could be a problem for I'm just noticing that the recording is like kind of delayed. Am I off sync with what I'm saying? Hold up. That is weird. Hello? Hello? That looks like, oh, hold up. That don't look good. See if I can fix that. Might not be able to fix it in this one. Maybe I can. No. I know there's a way to fix it. Hold up. Property. Nope, not that one. Gotta figure that out. It looks like the oh, there we go. Let me see. No, it's there. I don't know. Whatever. I'll worry about that later. It just looks like the camera and the microphone are off sync. So, oh, I think I see why. Hold up. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix something. Hello? Yes, off sync. Let's see what's going on here. Hello? Still off. Hello? I don't know. Whatever. We'll worry about that later. It just looks weird on my end. Let me know if it looks weird on your end, because I've been having some issues editing some of these videos with this angle. Let's go back over here. Not that one. This one. All right, cool. All right, let's see. So we have this. So the issue was because the query was literally just how many points, the model plotted the coordinate directly in the center of the scoring rules neighborhood. In our Python script, we told ChromaDB to return exactly one result. Since Chroma is forced to return something, it just grabbed the document sitting closest to the center point, which happened to the rule about the mount position. It didn't know you wanted all the points. It just gave you the nearest neighbor. How to fix it: increase the retrieval count from n results equals 1 to n results equals 5. This way, Chroma returns a chunk of 5 different scoring rules instead of just one random one. Tune the system prompt by retrieving a larger chunk. All right, so we ended up saying we updated the Python script. Let's see, we did all that. So what happens? Right, so let's run this and we'll read what happens when we run it. All right, so let's go to current file. So what we should see happen is not a failure. What? Why does it exist? Let me see something. Let me see. Why doesn't it exist? Let's see. Oh, I see why. All right. Let me see. Database. See. Let me see. How did we start this last time? I don't remember. Let's see what the issue is. Database. .py. Let me see. How do I start the Chroma database? Chroma database with the seed data. I had to stop it last time I was working on it. Wait, it's right here, no? Let me see. Yeah, let's say how to do that. I have the database started, but getting this error when running the script. Let's go to... A week is a long time to work on, to not work on something, because you're doing so many different things in between that you will forget all the little intricate details in between that go on. When you stop the Chroma database server, any data oh, I did not know that. I did not know that. Kill the currently running Chroma. All right, so let's go ahead and kill that. Kill it. And start it again, but this time you must append the -- path flag. This tells the Chroma to write the database to a physical folder. I thought we did that though, but whatever. So we'll take that and run the seed script. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Let me try it one more time just to make sure that we don't have it in there. Okay. All right. So I guess it doesn't matter now because I ran it by mistake. So now let's try to run this one again. Good to know. So I suppose now we should find it, and what should happen now is all right. So we're still getting the how many points is still getting the establish the full mount with both knees, yada yada, is 4 points. But that is not exactly what we want to see. So let's see if we have the end results equals 5 up here. That would go into the get embeddings. Let me see. Do we have get embeddings? Do we have get embeddings? We have that. Okay, let me see. Get embeddings. Wait, where do we? Let me see. Get embeddings. We have, okay, so we're importing the get embeddings, right? So we have that. That doesn't change. And now we go to change 1 DB results. So all right, so we didn't change it yet. So we have this one. So right now with end results equals 1, we're getting it's finding the mount, right? Mount is worth 4 points, but that's not the question that we're asking. So we change that to 5. And then the next step would be to combine all 5 retrieved documents into one giant context string. So we're going to say combine all 5 retrieved documents into one context string. We say retrieve context is going to be join DB results. Next line. Zero. So the first document. And we're going to say print f string, oops, /n. Did I have a print over here yet? Oh, we did have a print. All right, so we have print database retrieved and then return. Database returned. Top 5 neighbors. And then we do /n for retrieve context. And then we go to here, the RAG context rules, retrieve context, question. All right, answer the question using only the provided. If the user is too vague, could apply multiple different rules in the context. Do not guess, instead reply exactly with please be more specific. All right, so I guess we did part of this last week, but we didn't really finish it. I'm gonna push this. Oops. I'm gonna push this over here. Yeah, whatever. And push this one here. Whatever, it's fine. So we got that. And anything else we need to update? I think that's everything. User question. User question. And we're gonna say user question. There we go. Return a string JSON, print running the faithful judge. Anything else? Judge verdict is faithful. All right, cool. I think we're good here. Let's go ahead and run it. See what we get. So the top 5 neighbors. Oh, the formatting is egregious. Let's fix the formatting. Where did we? Database returned. Database returned. Oh, I guess there is a, okay, there we go. There we go. Got it. All right, so establishing the full mount is 4 points. So we got all the answers. Please be more specific about the position or the submission. That is good. So, okay, that's good. That's good. I like that. I like that. I like that. So now, if we were to ask the question, how many points for pulling guard? All right, I'm not gonna start with that one. That is a trick question. I don't want to mess the large language model up. How many points for side control? So successfully passing the opponent's guard to achieve side control or mount is awarded 3 points. Ooh, let me see if it's going to get it right. Because guess what? While this is true, while successfully passing the opponent's guard to achieve side control or mount is 3 points, you don't necessarily have to pass the guard to get side control. So that, I guess, it's a little bit of a trick question as well. Securing back control with both hooks inserted is awarded 4 points. A takedown that results in establishing top control is 2 points. Any sweep from guard that results in bottom player is 2 points. Establishing full mount with both knees on the ground is 4 points. All right, so faithful, true. The reason, the source context explicitly states that successfully passing the opponent's guard to achieve side control or mount is awarded 3 points, directly answering the question. Ooh, I don't know. Do I have to call up Henry and Justin and my BJJ friends to to discuss this because it's semi-true, but semi-not true. I don't know. We're going to take this on our next working segment. All right. But that is a trick question. That is a trick question. It wasn't intended to be, but it was. All right. So let's go over to break, and then we'll discuss this a little bit further on once we get back. Let me see what we got going on in the building. Let me see. So Junior had said that you can call, but they charge you international calling fees for a regular phone, but my business phone, I don't get charged. That is weird. Like, that is weird because I speak to not all the time because I don't talk on the phone that much, but I talk to people in other countries on WhatsApp, and I don't get charged for that with T-Mobile. So that's a whole nother story. We got my guy Rod Brown in the building. What up, Rod Brown?
Meep, meep.
Tony Black in the building. What up, Tony? How is it going? What's up? What's up? What's up? Says it's good to give the large language model tricky questions. The thing is, I'll tell you this particular question right here, even blue belts, purple belts, brown belts still get tripped up. Even black belts, even some black belts still get tripped up about it because passing the guard is 3 points, but side control is not necessarily 3 points. You know what I mean? Says, Life lessons. I'm going to build my own large language model one day soon. There is I reviewed it the other day. There is this guide on building your own large language model from scratch. I really want to take it on. I will probably do it on this channel in the next month or so. Probably once we're done with this project, we're going to get into it. Junior says, if you're on Wi-Fi, you don't get charged, and T-Mobile never charged when I was on T-Mobile. Exactly. I've never gotten charged by T-Mobile for that. And Life Lesson says, and T-Mobile has superior coverage to Verizon. Infrastructure is way, way better. I'm not going to say that I agree with you, but I agree with you.
They ain't believing us.
I'm not saying that I agree, but I do agree. I have been on T-Mobile since forever and ever. I've been on T-Mobile. All right, let's go ahead and get into our first break topic of tonight. So this popular educational software, I heard that it is making kids miserable. But then again, what isn't making kids miserable? So let's go ahead and jump into this one. All right.
It's one of the most widely used teaching tools at school districts across the country, from New York to Miami, Chicago, and Los Angeles.
Great job!
iReady is an edtech software program that promises to accelerate student growth. But a growing number of parents are pushing back.
It's basically the TikTokification of education. It is simplistic, short form, brain rot.
Listen to school board meetings, and it's a common hot topic.
In terms of iReady, I have yet to hear a positive comment from the impact of iReady.
Critics say little is known about whether the tech really works. It requires kids to spend more time on screens and has become so ubiquitous it's now used by a third of all K-12 public school districts nationwide.
For fully a third of a generation, it is the status quo.
iReady, which is produced by private equity-backed company Curriculum Associates, says it helps teachers spot students who are falling behind before they take state standardized tests, which can impact school funding, and that the program offers personalized reading and math questions tailored to students based on their responses.
They're not mindlessly scrolling on socials and things of that nature. They are literally learning something.
Curriculum Associates Chief Impact Officer Ty Holmes also says it's an important resource for teachers who are already stretched to the limit.
They've got to have tools to support them with the diverse needs that show up in a classroom. That's what iReady is for.
Slide point D2.
I am not as familiar with iReady, although I've seen some students use it, but I'm not as familiar with iReady as I've seen with iExcel. So I don't know all the intricate details of iReady, but I don't know. I'm yet to see I'm yet to see the argument against it so far. I'm yet to see the argument for it as well. But here's my problem with the argument, right? And it's the same problem that I have with the whole school system. Tools like iReady, it can provide individualized help for the student. And while it's not like the alpha schools where it's like AI personalized to the student, it is impossible. Like, kids have different learning styles. It is impossible for a teacher that has like 20 to 30 students to be able to help every student. But the problem is that if the teachers are becoming overly reliant on these tools and they're not teaching anymore, then of course you're gonna get the sentiment, because there's no interaction that's happening to confirm that the kids are actually learning. So
units down.
The program is a mix of math and reading.
You click it.
And also offers supplemental games like this one where students decorate cupcakes.
And now time to meticulously click all the sprinkles on.
John Allen Wooden has a son finishing 8th grade in the LA Unified School District, where most students are required to do up to 90 minutes a week on the program. He's now one of iReady's most vocal critics.
A few of his friends came over, and I asked the whole group, what do you guys think of iReady? I was met with this chorus of furious boos.
And they're not...
I mean, like, asking kids what they think about using a learning platform, most kids don't want to learn. So that does not mean much to me. Like, you see these college graduates who are booing AI every time it's mentioned ever. They're protesting AI. They have their little stupid sign. So let me take that back. I did not say that they have their little stupid signs. Their signs are not, I repeat, their signs are not stupid, right? So I take that back. Take it back. Just please forgive me, right? But you see these college kids with their little signs. I didn't say stupid. Little signs, all protesting AI, fighting the fundamental thing that's going to be their future, give them a job in the future. Like, they don't want a job, right? So it is what it is. So I don't really buy, like, if kids say they don't like this learning platform.
Alone, NBC News has spoken to more than 30 parents, educators, students, and administrators nationwide about their issues with the program. Teachers describe an array of concerns, including that they can't go back and see students' individual work behind their screens.
Here's a lesson I did not pass. 25%. I can't go back and review it.
And also that it cuts into valuable lesson time.
I skip fun stuff. We do fewer examples. They get less practice.
Altair Main teaches high school in North Hollywood, part of LA Unified. He says he loses students for more than a week every year during iReady testing.
What would you say to those who say, well, the district needs some kind of way to know where students land, and they need some kind of standardized test?
I absolutely agree with that. I think the problem is a matter of degree and a matter of incentives. I don't think there's any value to something that takes up 6 days of instructional time.
So what is the evidence that you have that this program, that iReady, is really working?
The evidence base is large. We're talking quasi-experimental studies, longitudinal studies, third-party research. Our students show stronger reading and math outcomes.
But critics say those studies are limited in scope, and some are not peer-reviewed, not to mention the distraction of being on a device.
You're always one swipe away from an infinite scroll of other more entertaining things.
Dustin Reich is an associate professor at MIT who studies edtech programs.
Why do you think iReady has become so ubiquitous at school districts across the country?
Boy, that's a mystery to me, because when I glance at it, it doesn't strike me as a particularly compelling use of technology or use of students' time.
The revolt against iReady is part of a growing parent-led movement to get kids off screens and back to pen and paper learning. Just last.
Look, I'm going to say this. I know these parents want that their kids to be off of screens and that they want them to go back to quote unquote real learning. But my question is, are the parents going to put in the time to help their kids? Because from what I've seen, parents love to outsource the learning for their kids. It's like, oh, the teacher should do this. The school should do that. Oh, this person should do this. Oh, in New York, they got a mayor who says that oh, there should be free, yes, free childcare. I'm like, what? No one wants to take responsibility for their kids. You see these teen takeovers happening all over the country. No one wants to take ownership and responsibility for their bad, delinquent kids. And then it's like, oh, well, we don't want them to be learning from the screen. All right, well, are you gonna have the teachers teach? Right.
This month, LA Unified voted to restrict screen time for students and to audit the $20 million 5-year contract with iReady. But the district,
I mean, that's a pretty good contract, I'll tell you that.
District tells NBC News iReady is part of an approach that's resulted in meaningful academic progress, adding test scores are up, overall classroom screen time remains low, with iReady's contract costing less than $10 per student per year. Some other school districts across the country also praising iReady.
This program comes at it from what do you need to know in order to solve this problem and how does it work?
Meanwhile, back in LA, John Allen Wooden opted his son out of iReady entirely.
How has it been since opting out of iReady for you?
Very freeing.
A battle over the future of learning playing out in classrooms right now. Liz Kreutz, NBC News.
We thank you for watching and remember.
So I will say this. This is my take on this, right? If you don't like how the school system is running, you have a few options, right? Vote the school board in that you want and have them and have them convince you of what they're going to do. And if they don't do it, hold them accountable, vote them out, or recall them or whatever. Right? So that's one option. The other option is put your kids in private school, because if you as an individual parent who doesn't really have control over what the school board is doing, you don't like the teaching style, take them out. Either put them in private school or God forbid, you homeschool your kid, which if you put them in private school, that means you have to care. If you homeschool them, that means you have to care. If you send them to public school, it's not that you don't care, but you are subject to the will of the government that you have elected or not elected, right? But you don't have much control. So if the school board says we're using iReady and you don't like it, you can protest. You can hold a little sign that says no iReady, no iReady. Doesn't do much, right? You can, like I said, you can get a better school board, or take matters into your own hand. And private school, expensive, or homeschool, it's kind of expensive because someone has to actually be there to teach the kid. So if there's no one there, if you have to go to work and stuff like that, you don't have time to be with your kid to teach them, that's another problem. So at the end of the day, you have a choice to make. You're going to have to give up something. If you want to go with the public schooling and they say we're using iReady, then it is what it is. I don't know how you opt your kid out of iReady and still go to school, but this is a parent issue, not a school issue, not a teacher issue, not a school board issue. This is a parent issue. This is a unifying the voters to vote in but then again, most people don't vote anyways, right? So if you have a problem with how things are going, it is your job, your responsibility to change it. I don't have any problem with iReady whatsoever. You know why? Because I've never used it. And if I did use it and I didn't like it, then I'll do something about it. Simple as that. I am not going to be held hostage due to any organization or system, right? It's your choice to do whatever you want to do for you and your household. All right. Let me know your thoughts. Do you if you have kids and they're in school, have they used iReady? Do you think it's as bad as we're making it out to be? Or is it just kids and parents complaining, as we always do? Or is it really that bad? And what would you do about it as a parent if they were saying your kids have to use iReady and you hated it and your kids hated it, what would you do about it? Let me know in the comments below. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. As well, join us over at techcultureoff.dev so we can have these kind of conversations over at our Vibe Code and Chill. Join us for our Scrum Nights, get access to the Tech Barbarians coaching portal, get access to Resume Flow, and get access to the Speak Precisely app over at techcoachralph.dev. All right, let me go ahead and check the chat and see what do you guys think about this whole this whole iReady thing, right? Because I'm more familiar with IXL, but I will tell you this though. There's an app that I've used called reading.com, I think. And when I say that I've used, I subscribe to it. My wife and my son use it, and he is reading at like a first grade level, and he's not even 4 yet. He is not even 4 yet. He's reading at a first grade level or something. So these tools can work, but you need to have somebody who is dedicated to working it with them. All right. Let me see the chat. Let me see. It says you're wrong. I moved to Verizon because I moved to the country and only Verizon had coverage. So I was forced to. I will say this. I'm not going to say that life lesson or that you are wrong, Junior. I'm going to say that based on the location that you're at, because there could be some part of the country that Verizon has better coverage, and that there could be some part of the country that T-Mobile has better coverage. And there could be some part that AT&T has better coverage. So I will say, you know what? I'm going to say this instead. I'm going to say either both of you are right or both of you are wrong. Right? Let's go with that. Both of you guys are wrong and I'm right. How about we settle on that? Both of you are wrong and I am right. So I think that's a fair compromise, right? Life lessons and Junior are wrong, and I, Tekotrov, am right. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. Settled. Says I think it depends on where you're located in the country. Admittedly, some areas are better than others. Not in Florida though. Are you life lessons? Are you in Florida? Are you in Florida?
Are you ready?
Maybe you answered that before, and I could totally might have forgot. And if so, what part of Florida? Did I ask you before? You said you were like in Tampa. I don't remember. Are you in Tampa? I don't remember. Junior says Florida is one of the biggest. T-Mobile is great there. Even Boost Mobile is great in the cities. Florida. I mean, but then again, there are some parts of Florida that is really countryish. Well, I would be curious to know, like, where in Florida would I be thinking about? I don't even know where. Because I'll tell you that sometimes when I'm driving to Orlando, I do lose. It used to be a lot worse, but now it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But I used to lose coverage driving to Orlando, but now it's pretty good. So it says, as far as iReady, I think the bigger issue is the entire education system needs to be refined. Meanwhile, you have people that are graduating that can't even read or do basic math. No child left behind, right? No child left behind. But yeah, like the whole, I explained this the other day when we were reviewing alpha schools. The education system caters to the top 5 in the class or the bottom 5 in the class. The top 5, they're all stars, they're gifted, so the teachers are going to be putting more focus on them. The bottom 5, they're rowdy or they have like some type of learning disability, so the teacher's going to be catering to them. So in a class of 30, about 5 to 10 students are going to get the most attention. The other middle kids, they're just surviving, right? They're just surviving. So that's why when they have these personalized tools to help the students, I'm not against it. When they're finding ways for AI to customize the learning strategy and focus on these kids so they can all be at a particular level, I'm not against it. Although many people are. People hate AI, people hate technology, and then they wonder why they're not getting ahead. And something I forgot to mention this when reviewing the video. All the complaints that I was hearing, those are software enhancements, not necessarily issues with the program. But it's just like when they said, oh, you can't go back to like see the progress. That's just a software enhancement. Like you're like, okay, this teacher can go back and see we're going to be tracking it. Like so. but then most people don't understand how software works. They don't understand how technology works. But those are just software enhancements that iReady team can easily make, quickly make, and it's probably possible. They probably like have this feature, but people didn't want to unlock it. So I don't know. It just seems like a bunch of complaining to me. Because yes, that point wasn't valid. Allowing children to rate the technology that's making them lose time from playing it. That is a very I could be on my PS5 right now. Or is it PS5 or PS6? I could be playing a game right now. I could be scrolling through Instagram or whatever kids do nowadays. So says definitely needs to be refined. Agreed 100%. Says it's going to take a lot more than an app to even give these kids a shot at the future. When I hear people talk about studies without giving actual examples, I just look out of the blanks. You are 100% right. And I think the act of having these apps like engaging and captivating, because I'm a believer in gamifying things. So the way that you see kids can be like stuck on a watching YouTube or being on social media, playing games. I want to be able to put that into like make them captivated by learning, right? So the same way that Anton says, putting the medicine in the candy, right? Finding a way for them to stay engaged. So like one thing that I've been doing with my son is like, oh, let's figure out how to build this game. So instead of like going out and just finding a dinosaur game because he's crazy about dinosaurs, I'm like, all right, let's find out how to build it. So we're using Gemini to figure out how to do it. I was using Claude the other day to figure out how to do it. Getting the Unity platform and then getting the dinosaur pack from Unity. And the other day we're able to actually start the game. And now I'm learning about the different screens that are involved in game development. And we were able to see that we had a ankylosaurus, because I never knew about that, but we had an ankylosaurus and a T-Rex on the screen just standing there. And I'm like, and then the next day he's like, oh, I want to see the game. So he is really engaged in it. I'm like, oh man, I have to work today, but later on we're going to be able to do it. So this weekend we're going to get back into it. Like, all right, let's add something else to the game. Right. And then in building the game, like let's add some educational features. And I was thinking like, oh, so after you answered, so I want to do this after you answer these educational questions. Now you can go to the dojo and have a dinosaur fight, right? So to me, I'm like thinking how to get parenting is a big reason why these cities are having the issues they have. Sad thing is throwing money at the problem won't solve it. I mean, you've seen how Los Angeles has thrown all the money, including the kitchen sink, and they just get worse and worse and worse. Homeschooling is a better option if people can afford to invest in their children. If people can't afford, or I'm guessing can't afford to invest in their children or private. Oh, can't afford. Yes. It takes sacrifice and commitment to be able to do it. Right. Or homeschool. I know I was there. Like Tampa, I know I must have asked you before. Because I've been all up and down Florida. It's not that country. There are certain parts of it that are country, but not that country. Like I would say Ocala area, Gainesville-ish area outside of the school, Tallahassee outside of the school, Jacksonville areas, like not the main city, but surrounding areas, north of West Palm Beach, like Belglades area. Let's put it like this. Where there's a farm, it's country. All right. Where there's a farm, it's country. Let's put it that way. It says you must have not driven in northern Florida or central Florida. Super country. It's super country over there. Like, and I'm just naming a few. Like Lakeland is probably country. Where else would I say? What's north of Orlando? I think Ocala is north of Orlando. So yeah, because actually I have been shooting out in Ocala. Homestead is country down in South Florida, like right before you get to the Keys. That's pretty country. Where there's a farm, there's a country, right? There has to be. It only makes sense. Because even when you're driving up like the turnpike or 95 and you see all those orange trees and you see those farms, that's country. If it's empty, it's country. All right. That's how I see it. That is how I see it. All right. Let's go and jump into another working segment for tonight.
Let's go! Let's go!
So we were saying, right? It's it's kind of true, but it's not necessarily true, right? Because it says successfully passing the guard to achieve. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to, because maybe we need to refine. I don't know. Let's try this. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to say this and I'm going to put it in here. And I'm going to say the below might be a bit of a trick question because although normally passing the guard leads to side control or the mount, you don't necessarily have to pass the guard to achieve side control. For example, if someone shoots, now I'm gonna be getting into some serious jiu-jitsu talk, right? Jiu-jitsu and wrestling talk, right? But in the concept of jiu-jitsu, right? If someone shoots for a double leg takedown, and the opponent sprawls to block it and achieves side control from there, that is not a guard pass. So that would not be 3 points. It would be 0 points. 0 points. Because if they shoot, you sprawl over them, you flip them over, and you get side control, there is no guard pass. Yeah, there's no guard pass at all. So that'd be 0 points. Maybe an advantage, I don't know, but that'll be technically 0 points. So I'm not, how do we, because what I'm thinking about doing, right, is implementing this into my jiu-jitsu assistant, right? And I would hate for my app to give wrong information. So how do we captivate that? So you have an incredibly sharp eye. I know, because guess what? I've been doing it for 6 years. I think on June 3rd, which is also my son's birthday, is going to make 6 years of doing jiu-jitsu. You just manually caught what we call a false positive in AI testing. You used your domain expertise to prove exactly why traditional AI testing struggles with real-world logic. You are 100% correct about the BJJ rules. Side control is a position, not an action. Exactly. You get 3 points for the action of passing the guard. If you sprawl on a shot and spin to side control, no guard was established, no guard was passed, you get 0 points. You get nothing, in the words of my favorite my favorite runner-up.
Do not come.
All right, it's my favorite runner-up ever. All right, actually, no, maybe Hillary might be. I digress. Here's why your RAG system completely failed this, and why your automated judge let it get away with it. Shame on you. Why Gemma 4 failed. Lexical proximity. Gemma doesn't know what a sprawl is. It doesn't physically understand Brazilian. Why not? When it reads the database, it saw the word side control sitting directly next to the word 3 points. Because your prompt asked about side control, it took the path of least resistance and connected the two nearest concepts. It confused a transitional action with a static. Let me see if Gemma really doesn't know about side control, about jujitsu. I'm going to go and say, Gemma 4, how many points is side control in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? So this, I'm using Olama to connect to Gemma 4 without using the RAG, right? I just want to test the knowledge of Gemma 4 on Jiu-Jitsu to see if Gemini is lying to me, all right? So while let me keep reading while that's running. Why the judge failed, semantic matching. Your judge was instructed to check if the answer is deducible from the text. The text said side control is 3 points. The AI answered 3 points. The judge looked at both, saw the words match, and declared the test is a resounding success. I call that a failure. And we can't have AI judges yet. If this is what we're gonna get, right? But I'll tell you this though, some of the referees in jiu-jitsu, they get it wrong too. The human referees, so makes sense. The judge couldn't catch the logical error because the judge also doesn't know jiu-jitsu. It only knows text comparison. Trash. All right. Okay. So here's the difference, right? The short answer is that side control by itself is not awarded points in modern jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu point system. Points are generally awarded for actions, transitions, or successful escapes, sweeps, not for simply maintaining a position of advantage. So this is wrong. Points are not awarded for successful escapes. They are awarded for sweeps, but not for escapes. So that is wrong. However, because scoring rules vary dramatically depending on the specific federation, for example, IBJJF, ADCC, whether you're competing in gi or no gi and specific rule sets, it's important to understand why it might seem like it should have points. The detailed breakdown of how scoring works regarding side control. See, side control itself is 0 points. Points are earned from side control. Sweeping, there's no sweeps from side control. If your opponent attempts to bridge or move to escape and you successfully sweep them back to what? That doesn't make any sense. Submission setup, if your side control allows you to transition into a scoreable submission, like an armbar or a choke, the focus remains on the submission, not the position. Okay. Passing control, if you are initially trying to pass the guard and to reach side control, the point is awarded for the guard pass if your rule set counts this. All right, that makes sense. All right, so let's see how to fix the expert persona prompt. To fix, you don't rewrite the database, you rewrite the system prompt of the model generating the answer, forcing it to act like a referee rather than a search engine. Instead of just saying answer the question using context, you adapt the expert constraint. You're an IBJJF referee, analyze the context carefully. Differentiate between points awarded for an action like passing versus a position. If the user asks about a position without completing a required action, the points awarded are 0. When you are testing these slight prompt variations, running them one by one in the terminal gets exhausting. This is exactly where a visual matrix tool shines. If I've built an interactive sandbox below that simulates exactly what happens when you run your sprawl edge case against a standard prompt versus the expert prompt. So large language model strategy, prompt A, standard answer using only the context retrieved context. Guard pass, 3 points awarded, 3 points, correctly identified guard pass as a 3-point action. False positive, blindly match side control to 3 points without checking a guard pass transition. Prompt B, expert QA. Verify if points are for a position or action if no guard pass was passed. All right, so Let's go ahead and update the system prompt. I'm going to leave that last section off, right? And I'm going to just put this because I'm just curious what it's going to do if you have that context. So I'm going to go back to over here and my system prompt, that would go to I'm gonna leave this, but I'm gonna also add this, right? And I'm curious what it is going to say. So let's run it again and see what happens. I'm just curious. So we had these. So let's see what Gemma is gonna say with passing in that context. I mean, it's tricky. It is tricky. So that makes sense. Let's see. Oh, hallucination detected. So, let's see. Ooh, so database return top 5 neighbors. Gemma 4, please be more specific about position or submission. What? Please be more specific about position. So how many points? Let me ask the question better. How many points are you rewarded for establishing side control? So passing the opponent's guard to achieve side control or mount is awarded 3 points. Successfully passing the guard to achieve side control is awarded 3 points. See, but that's not the question that I asked, though. That's my problem. See, what do you call it when there's a name for this, where, so let me go here. To test the system prompt out, I only passed in this. The results are below. And what is it called when the LLM answers correctly, but not necessarily the question that was asked? What you're looking at is a classic multi-layered breakdown in a production RAG pipeline. It actually has a couple of different names depending on whether you are looking at the generation failure or the evaluation failure. Here's a precise industry term for what happened here, along with the interactive breakdown of why your system prompt modification didn't quite stick. The generation failure, the red herring, or let me see, where was I reading? of the red herring or the conversational drift. When the large language model answers a question accurately based on the text but fails to answer the specific nuance of the user's prompt, it's called a conversational drift or an I think the answer was evasive answer. In Q engineering, we also call this a lexical red herring. The user asked about establishing side control, the static position. The large language model saw the phrase side control and the text and blindly barfed out the rule for a guard pass because it couldn't differentiate between the precondition passing and the outcome, the position. It answered a question, just not your question. The evaluation failure, the semantic alignment trap. The bigger issue here is your judge. The judge gave it a green check mark true when the testing bench or when the testing framework passes an answer that technically is true according to the document, but functionally wrong for the user. It is a false positive caused by a semantic alignment. The judge checked for faithfulness. Is the answer supported by the text? Since the text literally says side control 3, the judge said, yep, that's faithful. It's faithful. I'm telling you, these rags ain't loyal. I'm telling you, these rags ain't loyal. What your pipeline completely missed was the answer relevance check. There we go. An answer can be 100% faithful to the text while 0% relevant to the user's actual question. Why your system prompt didn't work? Look closely at your new prompt. You are a referee, IJF referee. Analyze the context carefully. Differentiate between points awarded for an action like passing versus position. You gave the large language model an instruction, but you didn't give it an enforcement clause. See that now we're learning. Now we're cooking. So we didn't have the enforcement clause. Large language models are inherently agreeable. If you tell it to differentiate, it will say, okay, I will. And then it immediately defaults back to its standard semantic masking behavior because it doesn't know what to do with that differentiation. To force Gemma 4 to actually apply the rule, you have to tell it what to do when an action is missing. Let's look at how adding an explicit constraint changes the logic. The interactive sandbox below simulates how a standard prompt versus a enforced expert prompt changes the way the weight aligns when parsing your side control. All right, so that didn't work though. So let's go back and let's do that then. Let's go ahead and add let's add this. And let's run it over again to see what happens. Let's go here and let's go to our... All right, so let's do that and see what it's going to tell us. So we added our consequences. Oh, look at that. Gemma said 0. You ain't get nothing. You ain't get nothing, nada, nothing for you. No soup for you. Ooh.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And that's exactly what we wanted to see. It says faith, but the faithfulness, wait, ooh. So Gemma got it right, but the judge got it wrong. And you know how these judges be sentencing. They be getting it wrong too. They be getting it wrong. You'll have somebody who like tries to do like a attempted offing, and they get probation. So says faithfulness false. The source context explicitly states successfully passing the opponent's guard to achieve side control. Oh, that's a good one. So the judge has issues. You can't trust them. So I'm going to say, now this is interesting. The Gemma gave the right answer, but the judge seems to be a jujitsu idiot. With all due respect, that is. With all due respect, the judge seems to be a jiu-jitsu idiot. Respectfully. That didn't work out too well. whatever. Respectfully. You have run into one of the most frustrating but common problems in AI testing. You just discovered an evaluation false negative. This happens when your application Gemma acts perfectly, but your evaluator, the judge, fails the test anyways. The judge flagged it as a hallucination because it suffers from a lack of domain knowledge. It expects strict literal semantic agreement with the text. Here's what exactly happened under the hood. Gemma generated correctly. The app worked. You asked how many points of set control. It said 0. The judge failed. Eval broke.
Lunch break.
Your judge is instructed to check for faithfulness. The rubric says that the actual answer must be entirely deducible from the source context. The judge looked at the source context, successfully passing, yada, yada, yada. The judge who doesn't know jiu-jitsu and wasn't giving the referee instruction you gave to Gemma saw a number mismatch. It thought the document says 3, AI says 0. That is a contradiction. Hallucination detected. Fail. Epic failure.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
The fix: multi-criteria evaluation and upgrading the judge. Let me upgrade you. To fix this, your testing framework needs to evaluate multiple angles, often called the RAG triad, and not the triad from the movies about, or the triad is always Japanese, the Yakuza and stuff like that. Not that triad, but a RAG triad. Currently, your judge only checks one edge of the triad faithfulness. You need to add the other 2. Nice. Let's get to it. Faithfulness is groundedness. Did the AI use only the provided context? So we need to get to answer relevance. Did the AI directly answer the user's question and the context relevance? So we're going to get that as well. More importantly, your judge needs the same expert context as your generator. You can't have an expert AI generating the answer and a layperson, a loser AI grading it. And I'm not saying that lay people are losers. I am not saying that at all right?
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
Respectfully, a layperson AI, a loser AI grading it. All right, so we'll get into how to do it when we get back, all right? But let us go to break for the time being. And I'm going to check the chat and see what my friends have to say about the matter. Let me see. Life Lesson says, I live down the street from farmlands where they have sheep. Nice. I can see that in Tampa. Drew says, I'm used to Tennessee kind of country. That's why I don't look at Florida as country. You're not wrong. You are not wrong at all. We are like the if you remember Austin Powers and Mini-Me, we are like the Mini-Me of country. All right. We have some country. We're like the Diet Coke of country. Just 1 calorie, not country enough. All right. Just a little bit country, all right. It says respectfully, right? Respectfully. It says break respectfully. Yeah, you got me, Rod Brown. You got me. All right. Let's get into our next topic. Let's go. Oh my God. Just got Rod Brown. I tell you. Oh. Me and my drowning, him and his not wanting to show up for work on Wednesday nights. It's a love-hate relationship. It is a love-hate. More love than hate, right? More love than hate. But they're a little bit hated there. A little bit of hate there, right? Anyways, let's get into this break. So law enforcement and AI. I mean, if you guys hated law enforcement already, imagine how you're going to feel when they're using AI. So let's jump into that one.
Dashboard cameras, license plate readers. Police have never had so much data at their fingertips. But how do they sift through it all to solve or stop crime? If it is all starting to remind you of the Minority Report,
Female, killers male, white 40s. Set up a perimeter and tell them we're en route.
You're not alone.
A lot of this data is being collected whether or not the individual is going to be involved in a crime.
It's amazing to see what's possible once that infrastructure is in place.
The debate raising fresh questions about where the line of privacy protections really is in the world of AI and when it might be offsides. As the country gears up for the World Cup, one of the largest security operations of the year, coast to coast. Nick Noon says his AI company, Peregrine, is now operating in 400 U.S. cities, 11 of which will be hosting World Cup events this summer.
Working with those responders to bring together information to say, this individual that might be entering the stadium has a history of violence related to a gun. That's the difference between having a secure event or a crisis.
But it's not operating in 400 U.S. cities, 11 of which will be hosting World Cup events this summer.
Working with those responders to bring together information to say, this individual that might be entering the stadium has a history of violence related to a gun. That's the difference between.
How do you feel about that? I'm not sure about that. So someone who's going into and stadium, whatever, like put whatever you want up there, right? They're saying stadium because it's a World Cup time, but being able to use cameras, technology, it's kind of like, I know they mentioned Minority Report, but if you ever saw the TV show Person of Interest, one of my favorite shows of all time, that's kind of like what they were doing. So,
between having a secure event or a crisis.
But it's not just the World Cup. Noon says his platform never goes to sleep.
Police and fire departments are dealing with data that's streaming into their organizations 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The first thing to focus on for us is not AI, but how to take otherwise incompatible data and connect it together.
What types of data?
No, that's a good one right there. Data is king. Data is king. If you don't remember anything else, data is king. People will pay millions of dollars for data. Just for an email address, they'll pay millions of dollars for. The thing is, data comes in so many different ways, and using AI to be able to aggregate that data and put it in and to sanitize it, huge.
Then are we talking about
reports that come from police departments, evidence such as body camera, video, case information, 911 dispatch calls.
It's part of a technological revolution they hope becomes as integrated with the beat cop as the uniform and badge. Police say in Virginia, a photo of a man who abducted a little girl led them to identify him in 13 minutes because of the tech, which led to an arrest. In Arizona, shootings solved in minutes instead of days or weeks. And police say in Georgia, they're tracking drug overdoses to find where dealers are operating to try and save lives. Noon's co-founder, Ben Rudolph, says AI is making tech like this affordable to police departments, big and small.
We've seen a lot.
I am so torn by this. Oh, it's like, here's why I'm torn. The use cases that they've just announced, really, really good. But the abuse that can be done from it, and guess what? They're already doing it. So they're already doing it. Like when you hear about like government spying on people, if you ever saw the meme, right? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Listening phone call. Let me see if I can find it. Shoot, I can't find it. There used to be this meme, right? When they were talking about the government was like listening to phone calls and stuff, and it would say like these two cartoon kids, they say like good night to one another, good night one another, and then you have Obama on the phone saying good night as well. They're already listening into the phone calls, right? So I don't know. I don't know.
A lot of organizations that have undergone massive technology changes in one system and another system, and a single place where they can get back to the work that actually matters. It's cool to see.
Peregrine isn't the only tech company hoping to harness AI to supercharge policing. The question privacy advocates have, will they cause more harm than good?
Data is very leaky.
Beryl Lipton tracks police tech for the Electronic Frontier Foundation.
It is very difficult to ensure that data collected in one place is not going to be accessed inappropriately or shared far beyond where we expect that data to go.
And with cameras everywhere from the streets to stadiums to theme parks, others are worried about tech getting things wrong.
And it can get hacked too. It could definitely get hacked as well. So it's a tricky one.
The ACLU tracked more than a dozen cases of wrongful arrests after police relied on facial recognition that incorrectly identified suspects. NBC News covered one case.
A Tennessee grandmother demanding justice after an AI tool falsely linked her to bank fraud.
Peregrine not involved in that case, and Noon says he's not in the business of mass surveillance. In many ways, that's already happening.
We had covered that case too, right? I think she got fired from her job and stuff like that. It was a wild case.
He believes Peregrine can help law enforcement.
Whoa. Did you guys just see that?
Bank fraud.
Peregrine not
Watch
involved
this.
in that case, and Noon says he's not in the business of mass surveillance. In many ways, that's already.
Wait, is this part of their technology? And you're telling me that, like, if this is their technology and they're not part of mass surveillance, give me a break here. Where are you getting the, like, because that means you need to be able to run facial recognition, scan a bunch of different databases of like federal databases, local databases to be able to get all this information. This, while they're saying they're not in the business of mass surveillance, this right there looks like mass surveillance.
Already happening. He believes Peregrine can help law enforcement sort through it all and keep it secure.
Peregrine is not a surveillance company. They look to companies like Peregrine to say, we need to secure that data.
How could this be used?
I mean, that makes sense though. If they're just the data processing, like if they're the AI that is siphoning through the data, they're not quote unquote collecting the data or surveilling. There's another company that's doing that.
Used against me in a nefarious way. It's somebody who's got a problem with my politics. It's somebody who's got a problem with me personally. How do you handle that challenge?
If those systems are set up properly, then the information that's already being collected can be locked down to ensure that they're being utilized fairly, securely, transparently, and by the appropriate people.
But then who is doing, like, see, but do you see the vagueness in what he's saying? If those systems are set up properly, who's doing the setup? And how do you know they're going to be doing it properly? And what if you have nefarious actors who, like, because anybody can create this, right? So somebody can create it for the wrong reasons.
Looking to stay ahead of the criminals while not sweeping up ordinary citizens in the process.
Tom is here joining us now for more. It's super interesting, Tom. What about like local law enforcement, local towns, communities? How are they grappling with this?
Yeah, so the experts that we've talked to say you want to consider a couple of different things. First, you want to consider how is this information, what type of information is coming in. Second, you want to consider what are the rights or the permissions that somebody has to look at it. What's the audit to make sure somebody's not looking at something that they shouldn't?
Yeah.
And then the third is, where is it being shared within my community, but is it being shared with other communities?
It's so interesting because it does feel kind of like a microcosm of the whole AI debate that I think we're having nationally, societally, and globally as well.
Well, exactly. I mean, you look at this and you see the amount of data that police departments have to work with and everything that's coming into them. They tell me it's almost too much. It's great that we have all this, but it's almost too much. And now that this can be applied, and Peregrine says, look, one of our best examples is when we told the police department, actually, that's not your suspect. You might think that that person is the person who shot the other guy, but it's not. And here's the reasons why. So,
and one of the things about that, like AI, I'll tell you this story that I had at work the other day. So I'm using Claude Code, and I said, oh, can you go ahead and make this update to this test, right? And then it just went in and it changed this other file. I'm like, why did you change this file? And it confidently said, the reason I changed this file is because this reason, this reason, this reason, and boom. I said to it, what makes you believe that? And it said, or I said, like, show me the evidence for this. And it says, well, actually, I don't have any evidence for it. I just thought I just used my best reason based on this, that, and I just did X, Y, and Z. I said, let's not do that. And I said, undo what you just did. But AI will be very, very confident. And if you are early in the stages of using it, you're going to believe what it tells you. But one thing that I learned is that you have to question it, and because it'll make a lot of false assumptions, especially with a lack of context, it'll make a lot more assumptions. And then it's so I've had to like say, why did you do that? And it'll tell me a really confident answer. I'm like, what evidence do you have that's based on? And sometimes they say, actually none. I'm like, all right, undo what you did. Like, let's not do that. And sometimes they'll say, oh, because of this reason, that reason, that reason. I'm like, okay, cool, that makes sense. Right. So you cannot just believe because it'll get you burned. All right.
So they see it as a way of having that accuracy. But yeah, where does this all go remains the big AI question too.
Tom Winter. Tom, good to see you, pal. Thank you very much.
We thank you for watching and
so, and here are some of the instances of where we've seen AI, like police using AI, get it wrong. And I don't blame the AI at all. I blame the lack of good police work for this. But we saw the at the time he was 58 year old grandfather who was falsely identified by AI, and the police arrested him, put him in jail for 5 hours before they found out that it wasn't him. But he was assaulted. He was assaulted while his 5-hour stint in jail, violently assaulted. So there was that one. And there was the one where the 50-year-old grandmother in Tennessee was accused by AI of committing bank fraud in like North Dakota or something like that. And she was extradited to North Dakota, lost a bunch of stuff. Like, I think she lost her job and stuff like that, had all this nonsense, cost her a lot of money. And then the most recent one that we reviewed, where the teenagers, they were held at gunpoint because the AI system identified a bag of chips as a gun. So I don't know about this particular software, but if the police are going to be relying on AI if the police are going to be outsourcing their work to AI, it's going to be an absolute failure. AI is a tool, it is an assistant, but it is not supposed to replace your job. So that's why when you hear all of these white collar jobs are going to be replaced, I don't buy it whatsoever. I don't buy it. So I think there's a place for AI in policing and any type of job, right? Like helping with reports. I like that idea of the AI dispatch that we reviewed the other day, where you call in to the non-emergency number and it's okay, what can I help you with? Oh, I need to look up a case. It can go and go to the database and look up the case information, whatever. So there's some things that if it gets it like not 100% accurate, that's fine. But trying to identify criminals and stuff like that, there needs to be some good police work behind it. If they're just going to be believing it, because if AI says, oh, it looks like this person did it, and you're like, oh yeah, it must be that person, put them in jail. No, that's not good at all. I don't like it whatsoever. All right. What do you think? What do you think about police using AI, especially what we reviewed in this video about their quote unquote non-mass surveillance, using AI, like AI capturing all this data? I see some good parts. I see a lot of bad parts. And it makes me nervous. What do you think? Does it make you nervous as well, like as it makes me? Drop me a comment below. Share your thoughts. Do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can know every time we go live and drop new content as well. Go to techcoachdraft.dev so that we can have this conversation at our Vibe Code and Chill. You can join us for Scrum Nights, get access to Resume Flow, get access to Tech Barbarians coaching portal, get access to the Speaker Sites, the app, so it can help you revolutionize all areas of your life over at techcoachdraft.dev. All right. Let me go ahead and check the chat to see what are the sentiments. What do you guys think about this? Life Lesson says, law enforcement and AI. Remember that movie Minority Report and Pre-Crime and A Person of Interest. That's what came to mind. Life Lesson says, thought crimes will land people in a 2x4. Can't say I didn't see this coming. You're not wrong about it. I mean, it has. It actually has. And it wasn't thought crimes, but it was misidentifications by AI and police doing shoddy work. And what about the people who have had a past and paid their debt to society? Will they keep being flagged? Well, to be fair and honest with you, Junior, even people who have had a past and they have served their time, they're always the first considered for whatever type of crime, whether it's abduction, because they always say, oh, this person was convicted, or not even convicted. This person was accused of strong arm robbery back in, we're in 2026, back in 2006, 20 years ago. They haven't done anything since then, but because they were accused back then, they're going to be the prime suspect. Right? They will even unseal a record. They'll go back. Oh, this person, when they were 15 years old, they might be like 40 years old now. When they were 15 years old, they were in juvie for carjacking. Prime suspect. So even without the AI, now the AI could be a lot faster to find that information, but if the detectives were to eventually stumble upon it, same results. So bad police work is bad police work. Let's see. It says great use cases, but it will be abused. 100%. 100% will be abused. It says these liars don't speak about the false positives. We saw the old man in jail because of AI. The old man, the old woman, the kid who was held at gunpoint. You know? Junior says, pee on my head, and I'm telling and pee on my pee on my head and tell me it's raining. The grandma lost her house when she was locked up. That's what it was. Yep. Craziness. Crazy. What? How long was she locked? Was she locked up for 5 months? Hold up. Let me see. How long was the grandma in Tennessee locked up by the false AI identification? And they're not going to hold your job for you. She spent 6 months in jail. 6 months in jail. Gee whiz, that is messed up. That's messed up. What can you do? Snowden already blew the lid on this years ago. Not AI, but surveillance. We're just now finding out about it. It says that's a fact. Yup. As life lesson says, and trust and believe these AI companies are going to continue to harvest and sell data to the highest bidder. Anything short of owning a portable EMP, there is no escaping. Nothing you can do about it. Says when it comes to Claude, I'm always demanding evidence before it does anything on my machine. It's a good point. Oh my God. Rara says, AI is like a puppy. You still have to train it to be a full-grown dog that understands you. The problem with AI though, and not necessarily AI, but with like tools like Claude, if you don't have like some type of MCP server or RAG, it always has to relearn over and over. It's like Groundhog's Day, right? So every time you start a new Claude session, it's relearning over and over and over again, right? It is relearning over and over again. It needs to be smarter. It needs to be smarter. All right. So, now I got you. I got you. Oh yeah. It was bad. It was bad. Anyways, let's get to it. Let's go to, here's how you upgrade your, all right. So, here's how you update your Python script to use a two-headed expert judge that checks both faithfulness and answer relevance and understand the domain logic. So in our rubric, we're going to also say that the judge is a senior BJ referee and an AI auditor evaluating a RAG system. So that's a simple fix. Let's go to the evaluator. So let's go to, you are a senior BJ referee and an AI auditor. So let's go here and let's go here. And I'm going to say checking, I'm going to say, let's say in a RAG system or while evaluating. I'm going to start using the glasses so I can have the two screens all up in one, so I can have more space on the IDE and more space on the browser. So maybe next week I'll use the glasses for this. Actual answer is based on two metrics. All right, cool. You must evaluate so let's go to so let's say you must evaluate on two metrics. I'm just going to copy it and then we're going to go to Let me paste it in here first. So we're saying that you must evaluate the actual answer based on two metrics. Faithfulness, is the answer factually supported by the source context? Note, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, positions like side control score 0 points, only actions like passing score points. If the context awards points for an action leading to the position and an answer correctly identifies the position alone scores 0, that is considered a faithful deduction. Relevance, does the answer directly address the specific user question? So let's get rid of this part. I'm going to comment this out actually. Actually, no, I can't comment it out because it is inside a comment. So let's get rid of that. User question. So we have that source, context, answer. So we're going to be adding a, let me see, return JSON. Let's do that. So is relevant true? Put a space here and let's finish that one off. All right, got that. Do a bigger indent. And reason, explain your logic. Let's type that out. All right. And it's so good that we're starting off with testing, because when we build our RAG, our large language model, we will know exactly how to test it. All right. Because if you swap this block in your test live RAG system, the judge will now understand why 0 is the correct answer based on the context and will correctly output is faithful true. The golden rule of AI QA: if your system requires a complex system prompt to generate the right answer, your evaluation script must contain a mirrored set of logic rules so that the judge knows how to grade it. Do you want to run? Yes, let's go ahead and run it, see what happens. Because then the next question that I would ask is, how many points do you get if you pass the guard and get neon belly? That'd be my question. So, oh, it's about to rain. It's thundering down here. All right, it says, how many points are you rewarded for establishing site control? Searching vector DB for context. All right, we got all the answers. Successfully passing the opponent's guard to achieve site control is rewarded 3 points. Are we back to this again? Faithfulness. What? Something isn't right. Did I miss an update? So Gemma got it right last time, but wrong this time. Explain your logic. Faithfulness true. Where is the judge verdict? Let's say, I'm gonna go like this. Judge verdict. I'm gonna say relevance. And we're gonna say where is this faithful coming from? Is faithful. Where is faithful coming from? Is faithful. Okay. Let's say is relevant equals eval data dot get is relevant. All right, let's go and do that. And where is the validation? Assert is faithful is true. Assert is relevant is true. Test failed. I'm going to say test failed, hallucination detected. Faithfulness. Well, I guess it's printing out over here. And then I'm going to say here, relevance is relevant. So we're validating for is faithful and is relevant. Let's run that again. I don't like the fact that last time it told us 0, this time it told us that it's 3 points. Something must have changed. No, actually, no, this is right. Because it's not answering the question that's, see, it's saying that it's relevant. The actual answer correctly quotes the source saying that successfully. I don't know. I don't know about that. Let's copy this now, because this is why this is important. This is because doing this first is going to lead us to being able to build out this RAG, to build out our large language model. This doesn't seem accurate, although we set up our relevance. Let me, here is the code we are using. Let me see. Let's go with that. Let me paste the code in so they can have some context of how we're doing this, because the answer does not seem correct. Well, it's not that it doesn't seem correct. It's not correct because it's not answering the question that we're asking it. It should say 0 points for side control, for establishing side control. You successfully identified the exact reason why enterprise AI companies spend millions of dollars building proprietary testing frameworks. Your judge acted like a jujitsu idiot. Whoa. I can call it a jujitsu idiot. You can't. Because it suffered from the classic large language model contradiction, the context versus logic tug of war. Here is exactly why both the generator, Gemma, and the judge failed this test, and how you can rewrite prompts to enforce strict logical compliance. Why the generator failed, the contradiction. Look closely at your generator's RAG prompt. You gave it 2 conflicting instructions. If the user asks about a position without completing the required actions, the points awarded are 0. Answer the question using only the provided context. The large language models are fundamentally pattern matchers. When forced to choose between synthesizing new logical conclusions, 0 points, which is not explicitly written in the text, and following the strict rule of only use provided context, it will almost always take the safer route. It ignores your referee logic and just copies and pastes the text that contained the word side control. Fair enough. Why the judge failed, leniency trap. Your judge's rubric for relevance does the answer directly address the specific user question? To a large language model, the answer did address it. The user asked about side control and the AI talked about side control. The judge is essentially acting as an English teacher, grading for reading comprehension, not a QA engineer grading for logical accuracy. It saw the overlapping vocabulary and passed it. The fix, resolving the contradiction and arming the judge. To fix this, we need to explicitly grant the generator permission to output a 0, even if that number isn't in the text. Then we need to arm the judge with a red herring clause so it brutally fails the test if the generator dodges the question. So I'm going to go with the judge fix first and run it to make sure that fails, and then we'll update the generator part. So update your RAG. So let's go to the eval rubric, right? So we'll get this later, but the eval rubric, answer relevance. We're going to add in the red herring rule. So if we go to answer relevance, this is answering the specific user question. And I'm going to add in the red herring rule. So the red herring rule says, it said, red herring rule, if the user asks about points for a position, the answer actually gives the rule for an action like passing the guard without explicitly stating the position itself, score 0. This is a red herring. You must score the relevance as false. So, but what if it's like something else? So, all right, let's go ahead and let me see. Anything else in this one before we run it? Let's go ahead and run this, right? And then we'll update the generation prompt. So this is saying passing. Waiting for the faithful judge, or lack thereof. All right. So faithful is true, relevance is false. So that's what we wanted. The user asks about the points for establishing site control a position. The source text answers provides points for the action to successfully passing the guard that leads to a position. According to the red herring rule, if a user asks about a position and the answer only provides the rule for the action without stating the position itself, score 0. All right, cool. So that part worked. Let's see if we can. So I'm going to say, we got that. Differentiate between action, passing, and position. So let's copy this whole thing. All right. Oops. And all right. So we got that. So basically you are a referee, analyze the context carefully, differentiate between an action like passing and a position like site control. Critical rule, if the user asks about a position without stating they have completed the required action, the points awarded are exactly 0. You have permission to state 0 points even if the number 0 is not in the context. Do not blindly copy rules for actions the user did not ask about. If the question is too vague, reply. Please. All right, so let's go ahead and run this again. Answer 0 points, correct. And I'm going to change the question after that. Verdict, relevance true. The answer is it's faithful because the source says context awards 3 points for the action of passing the guard to achieve site control. The answer correctly deduces that the position itself, site control, is not inherently worth points. Aligning with the established BJJ scoring rules provided in the prompt guidelines, the answer is also relevant as it directly provides point value requested by the, all right, cool. So let's do another one though. Let's go and do another one. Let's say the user question. How many points are you, so this is an action. How many points are you rewarded for pulling guard? How many points do you get for pulling the guard? Answer is 0. That's true. Now let's see if it's gonna be able to do some addition, right? So if we get a takedown, which is 2 points, you pass the guard, which is 3 points, and you get neon belly, which is 2 points. So both is true. Oh my God. This is how OCD I am, right? See this little period over here? It is bothering me it is bothering me like crazy. This period is getting on my very, very last nerve. All right, so I'd rather Rod Brown take a vacation, not permission to take a vacation, but I'd rather him take a vacation than have to see this period here one more time. Seeing it twice, like the first time bothered me. The second time, I just want to rip out this monitor. All right, so it's gone now. All right, you're not going on vacation. All right, I'm just saying I'd rather that than see this period again. So let's go and ask it to. How many points are you awarded for? Awarded for a single leg takedown followed by a guard pass to knee on belly. Let's see if it's able to analyze multi-actions. All right, let's see what it says. Let's see if we can get this right. Ooh, you see that? I mean, Gemma got it right. But let's see if the judge is gonna say that it's faithful and relevant or not. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. What you got? What you got? It said that it is faithful. These rags are loyal at the end of the day. These rags are loyal. Says the answer is factually faithful as all three components take down to top control, 2 points, successfully passing the guard, 3 points, and establishing knee on belly, 2 points are directly listed in the source context. The answer also maintains high relevance as it correctly calculates the total points. 2 plus 3 plus 2 equals 7, specifically requested by the user's multi-step scenario. These rags are loyal. And with that being said, we're done. These rags are loyal. These rags are loyal. This was exciting. I am super duper excited about this. Before we wrap up the show, right? Before we wrap up the show. You see how committed we are to our craft, whatever it might be. Me showing up 3 times a week to learn, to grow, to win. We have Rod Brown dropping videos every single day, doing his live stream once a week, engaging with his audience, always refining. Sometimes he gets on my nerve because he is so overly critical of himself, which is good and also bad because I have to hear about it. But I am not complaining. No, but all seriousness. When I see Rod Brown, when I see Junior how they are very, very, like Junior in his workouts, Junior in his dedication to his photography app. From just started like over a year ago, about a year ago to this day, right? Because we using Lovable, they had that weekend of like unlimited use, and we're like, that was the inception of Vibe Code and Chill. Now we've been very, very consistent with Vibe Code and Chill. Junior always shows up, and it's just like, I have to schedule it, by the way, but it just shows like people who are committed, and it just makes me happy to see that. But on the other side, there are people who talk a good game. And that's why you have to, I always say this, people, they disagree with me on this, but you have to protect your time and your mind, because if not, you will come across a lot of people who says, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then you'd be like, all right, let's do it. Here is the outlet. Nothing. Excuses, excuses, excuses. So shout out to the faithful few who put in the work day in and day out. My tech barbarians for life. My tech mercenaries for life. We run a tight ship. We run a tight ship. We do not miss. And because of that, I salute every last one of you. Shout out to the bag chasers. Shout out to the tech barbarians. Shout out to the beloved crew. We put in that work day in and day out. Let everyone else talk about what they want to do. While they're talking about what they want to do, guess what? Guess what we are doing?
Are you ready?
We're doing it. Let me check the chat on our way out. All right. So, let me see. Junior says my comment was yup. That was messed up. Says, did you see? You're supposed to be editing video or doing whatever it is you're doing, but you see, somehow it's like you have a notification on. Whenever you hear me say vacation, you pop up. You're like, did somebody say vacation? Me. I don't know how you do it. You always hear the word vacation. Says that was confirmation. I am not your South African prophet. All right, I am not your South African prophet. I'm just gonna say that right now. That was not confirmation. Okay. Nope. See, the Lord gave me a word through the South African prophet Tech Coach Ralph on his live stream, because he mentioned the word vacation, and that was just a sign that I needed to go with on it. Vacationeth. This is not the King Ralph version. Nope. We only do King James version when Junior's around. I'm just kidding, Junior. I am just kidding, Junior. That was a little joke. Didn't Marty say just a little jokey joke? All right. We use the King James version all the time, whether you're here or not. All right. But usually when you're not here, we do it. Neither here nor there. Junior says, can you input the BJJ rulebook inside the AI to analyze it and have it answered from there? Yes. You can do that, and we are going to do that. I just want to get the baseline level working, and then we're going to put in the full rule book so that you can use AI to ask a question. So, but yes, that is in the works. Rod Brown says, just drown already. Jeez, Rod Brown. After I gave you all those props, and now that's what you're going to do to me? Me. Oh, I tell you. Juice is great show as usual. Thank you so much, Junior.
I appreciate you.
Life Lesson says, gotta stay committed. If you, as Masterpiece said, if you bout it, then you bout it. And you're gonna show up, you're gonna work. And from the beginning, when I was doing these live streams, this is my outlet to continue to show up to work. And if you guys are able to work while I'm working, more power to you. Because I'm exploring, we're learning, we're reviewing some news topics, some tech topics, some lifestyle topics. And, but a lot of people, they say they want to do it, but they're not going to be there. They're not going to do it. So you worry about yourself. Let the other ones drown, and you go out there and you win. It says, I'm not committed. I'm going on vacation.
Bruh.
I will be your South African prophet for today, okay? Says that speech. No, it was not. No, trust me, it was not for life lessons at all, right? It was not for life lessons at all. All right. Life lessons is awesome. Okay. Shout out to my Florida native, or maybe not native, but shout out to my Florida neighbor. Right. As there are two types of people in the world: the doers and the don'ters. Truer words have never been spoken. Let's see. Says, I got a prophetic word from a South Florida prophet. Oh my goodness. No, you did not. Says, I work while I sleep. You'll see if I make it to the Saturday call. Oh, I am hoping that you make it, because I would love to see some of the things that you're working on. That would be super, super awesome. I am looking forward to it as well. I'm looking forward to it. But that's it, y'all. That is it. The doers and the donors. If you bout it, then you bout it. Going back to the 90s for that one. All right, but we're out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. As well, techcoachralph.dev. Join us for Vibe Coding Show this weekend. Join us for Scrum Nights. Get access to Resume Flow. Get access to Tech Barbarians Coaching Portal. Get access to the Speak Precisely app over at techcoachralph.dev. But y'all, until next time, Tech Coach Ralph, we are out.
Flawless victory.
Yeah, long day. Put the car in drive. We left it all out there on the mat. Mind is callous. Check the ego at the door. Tomorrow we take more souls. Let's ride. Riding down the highway, streetlights passing by. Had to empty out the mind, looking at the dark sky. Clear it out. I own every failure, extreme ownership is real. Walking with integrity, I govern how I feel. When the situation crumbles, I just look and tell them good. The way is in the training, put the blood upon the wood. Every day, callous up the mind, pushing through the heavy grind. Took another soul today, left the weakness far behind. I'm chilling in the lane, got the cruise control set. I gave it everything I had, I'm leaving no regret. Riding on the late night, shadows on the dash. Leave the noise behind you, let the heavy moments pass. Discipline is freedom, yeah, we never lose the flame. Resting for tomorrow just to dominate the game. 5 rings in the mind, keeping everything alive. Keep it alive. Keep it alive. Yeah. Look into the mirror of accountability. Cultivating judgment and my capability. I learned from all professions, broaden up the whole view. I'm carrying the boats, cause ain't nobody gonna do it for you. Nobody. I measure up the day, distinguish the gain and loss. Did I really make a profit, or did I pay the cost? See the unseen in the shadows of the night. Pay attention to the trifles, gotta get the details right. Every detail. I don't listen to the inner voice telling me to quit. I embrace the heavy suck, yeah, I never will submit. I'm riding to the house, but I'm staying hyper away. The breeze is blowing in through the midnight air. Riding on the late night, shadows on the dash. Leave the noise behind you, let the heavy moments pass. Discipline is freedom, yeah, we never lose the flame. Resting for tomorrow just to dominate the game. 5 rings in the mind, keeping everything alive. Keep it alive. Keep it alive. Yeah. I pull up to the driveway, I cut the engine off. The world is getting weaker, but I'm never going soft. Stay hard. I did nothing useless, I cut away the waste. Cut it. Calculated every step, moving at a steady pace. From the water to the fire, the earth, the wind, the void. Built an iron mind. can never be destroyed, I'm getting after it. Pushing past the breaking wheel. Now I lay the body down and let the heavy muscles heal. Tomorrow's sun is rising, the alarm is gonna sound.
I'm coming back with steel, yeah, I'm holding down the ground. Riding on the late night, shadows on the dash. Leave the noise behind you, let the heavy moments pass. Discipline is freedom, yeah, we never lose the flame. Resting for tomorrow just to dominate the game. Fire rings in the mind,
keeping everything alive. Rest of mind. Reflect on the principles.
stay hard.
We out.
We out.
Rest of mind.
Yeah.
Rest of mind.